My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe this in. What you are hearing right now is not random, not accidental, and certainly not late. Congratulations. This is the moment you prayed for when you thought heaven was silent. Archangel Michael steps forward with authority and gentleness, saying clearly, "Your miracle has already arrived. It is not on the way. It is not being prepared. It is here." But hear this carefully. If you treat this message lightly, if you scroll past it as just another video, the opening that was created specifically for you will quietly shift to another. This is not fear. This is divine timing speaking. Something extraordinary has been happening behind the scenes of your life. While you were busy surviving, while you were doubting yourself, while nights felt heavy and answers felt delayed, a spiritual portal was forming around you. Archangel Michael has been guarding it. This portal was designed for one assignment only, your elevation. And now heaven is saying, this door does not remain open forever. It responds to awareness. It responds to obedience. It responds to attention. You may feel it already, a strange pull, a sense of urgency, a quiet excitement mixed with disbelief. That is not imagination. That is your spirit recognizing its moment. Archangel Michael says many prayed for what you are about to receive, but you were chosen because you did not quit when it would have been easier to walk away. The miracle arriving now carries restoration, justice, and sudden clarity. It corrects delays. It rights misunderstandings. It brings back what was withheld. But listen closely. This message carries a condition, and it must be spoken plainly. If you dismiss this moment, the energy surrounding your breakthrough will not hover. Heaven does not force doors open. It invites. And invitations have expiration points. Archangel Michael is not threatening you. He is warning you because of love. This portal responds to alignment. The moment you say, "I'll come back to this later," you risk arriving to a door that has already closed. Some of you have been asking, why does it feel like things are about to change, but nothing has happened yet? This is why. The miracle has arrived in the spiritual realm first. It is waiting for your recognition to manifest fully in the physical. That is how divine order works. Faith is not passive. Faith responds. Archangel Michael says this miracle is time-sensitive because it involves movement. Movement of people, movement of decisions, movement of opportunities. If you hesitate too long, someone else who is spiritually alert will step into the space prepared for you. Not because they are better, but because they were ready. Heaven honors readiness. You may not fully understand what this miracle looks like yet. For some, it will show up as unexpected news. For others, a conversation that shifts everything. For others, a sudden release from a cycle that has drained you for years. But the common thread is this: it will happen quickly once it begins. That is why awareness now is crucial. Archangel Michael is also revealing something important. The reason this portal feels intense is because it was formed through pressure. The tears you cried, the silence you endured, the patience you were forced to learn. None of it was wasted. Pressure did not break you, it prepared you. And now the release phase has begun. Do not underestimate what is happening just because it arrives quietly. Some miracles do not announce themselves with noise. They arrive with peace. They arrive with a sudden knowing. They arrive with a calm certainty that says, "This is it." That is how you will recognize yours. But I must say this again, because it matters. Skipping this moment closes more than a video. It closes alignment. When Archangel Michael speaks, it is not for entertainment. It is for instruction. He is asking you to stay present, to stay receptive, to stay open. Because what opens now determines the next season of your life. You have been standing at the edge of something new, even if you couldn't name it. Old cycles are losing their grip. Old limitations are dissolving. This is not coincidence. This is orchestration. And congratulations are in order, because not everyone makes it to this point. Archangel Michael says, "Tell them this clearly. The miracle has arrived, but the doorway responds to their choice. Choose awareness. Choose favor. Choose to stay connected. What you do with this moment decides whether the portal expands or seals. Remain here. Let this message settle into your spirit. What comes next will make everything you endured finally make sense. Beloved soul, now that you have felt the weight and wonder of this moment, Archangel Michael asks you to listen even more closely. What is unfolding right now is not just about receiving a miracle. It is about how you respond once heaven has leaned in your direction. Many people miss their breakthrough not because God withheld it, but because they did not recognize the moment when alignment was required. This is that moment for you. Something has already shifted, and you are being positioned to either step forward or remain where you are. Archangel Michael says there is a reason your heart feels alert right now. Your spirit is awake. You are sensing that this message is different, heavier, more personal. That is because the portal spoken of earlier is not abstract. It is connected to real-life outcomes, relationships, finances, purpose, healing, and clarity. This is where intention meets action. Heaven has done its part. Now the question becomes, will you stay engaged long enough to receive the full instruction? You see, miracles do not always arrive fully formed. Often, they arrive as divine signals that require cooperation. Think of it like a door that has been unlocked but not yet opened. The unlocking is God's work. The opening is yours. Archangel Michael is reminding you that spiritual authority operates in partnership. When you lean in with faith, things begin to move rapidly. When you hesitate, momentum slows. Some of you are still carrying disappointment from past moments where you thought something was about to change, and it did. That disappointment has made you cautious. It has taught you to guard your expectations. Archangel Michael understands this, but he also says that this is not a repetition of the past. This is a correction of it. What failed before was not meant to succeed because it lacked alignment. What is arriving now is aligned by design. There is also a reason this message is reaching you through a screen. It is easy to think spiritual moments only happen in sacred places, but heaven is not limited by location. Archangel Michael moves where hearts are open. And right now, yours is open enough to receive this warning and this promise at the same time. That balance is rare. Let me speak plainly. The enemy of miracles is not evil. It is distraction. It is the voice that says, "I'll deal with this later." It is the impulse to scroll, to multitask, to half listen. Archangel Michael says this is why the message feels urgent. Not because something bad will happen if you stop, but because something good will pass by if you do. Opportunities are living things in the spiritual realm. They respond to attention. This is why it matters that you engage right now. If this message is resonating, do not keep it silent. Like this video as an act of agreement. Share it with someone who had been waiting for confirmation. Leave a comment declaring that you are present and receptive. These are not social media habits. They are modern expressions of participation. When you engage, you are signaling readiness, not just to the algorithm, but to your own spirit. Archangel Michael also invites you to subscribe and stay connected to this space. Not because of numbers, but because consistency creates channels. When you remain connected, you remain aligned. And alignment keeps doors open. There are messages ahead that will build on this one, and missing them could feel like trying to read a story with pages torn out. There is something else being revealed now. The portal you are standing in front of is connected to timing with other people. Decisions are being made even as you listen. Conversations are being prepared. Hearts are being softened. Your response accelerates these things. When you say yes internally, heaven echoes it externally. You might be wondering, what if I don't feel ready? Archangel Michael answers gently, readiness is not about confidence. It is about willingness. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to remain open. Miracles often organize clarity after they arrive, not before. Pay attention to the subtle confirmations that will follow this message. Repeated numbers. Unexpected messages. Sudden peace where anxiety used to live. These are not coincidences. They are echoes. They are heaven saying, you heard correctly. Stay with this. Do not rush away from the atmosphere being created right now. Something is being layered, and the next revelation will connect pieces you didn't even realize were related. Hold on, because what comes next will bring shocking clarity to why this moment matters more than you think. Chosen one. Archangel Michael now draws even closer, because what is being revealed at this stage is sensitive and sacred. The miracle that has arrived is not only about what you will gain, but about what must be released for it to fully manifest. Many people want the promise, but few are willing to let go of the weight they have carried for years. You are different. You have already been loosened from attachments that once defined you. That is why this moment feels both exciting and unsettling at the same time. Archangel Michael says the portal opening before you is responding to purification. Over the past season, things that no longer matched your future were quietly removed. Some relationships faded. Some plans collapsed. Some doors closed without explanation. At the time, it felt like loss. And now you are beginning to see it was preparation. Heaven was clearing space so that what is arriving now would not be contaminated by the past. There is a spiritual law at work here. New wine cannot be poured into old containers. The miracle you are stepping into carries power, responsibility, and visibility. If it had arrived earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. The delay you resented was actually mercy. Archangel Michael says your strength has been stretched just enough to hold what is coming without breaking. Right now, your spirit is being asked to trust what it cannot yet see. This is not blind faith. It is informed faith. You have evidence. Look back and notice how many times you were protected without realizing it. Look at how situations that once felt devastating later revealed hidden blessings. This pattern is repeating itself now, but on a larger scale. The miracle arriving is not isolated. It is connected to a chain reaction that will touch other lives through you. Archangel Michael also reveals that jealousy and misunderstanding may surface once this breakthrough becomes visible. This is not a warning to fear, but a reminder to stay anchored. When light increases, shadows react. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. The portal opening for you was not voted on by people. It was authorized by heaven. Some of you are being called into a higher role: leader, guide, restorer, example. You may not have asked for it consciously, but your endurance qualified you. The miracle coming will place you in rooms you once felt unworthy to enter. Remember this: you do not walk alone. Archangel Michael goes before you, clearing resistance and silencing accusations you never even hear about. There is also healing wrapped into this moment. Not just physical or emotional healing, but identity healing. You are about to see yourself differently. Old labels will fall away. You will no longer introduce yourself from a place of lack or survival. You will speak from authority. That shift alone will open doors. Pay attention to how your inner dialogue changes in the coming days. When fear tries to return, it will feel weaker than before. When doubt speaks, it will sound unfamiliar. That is because the miracle has already altered your internal landscape. You are not waiting anymore. You are transitioning. Archangel Michael says this portal responds to gratitude. Gratitude is not politeness, it is alignment. When you acknowledge what God is doing, you stabilize it. Even now, a simple inward thank you is strengthening what is unfolding. Do not underestimate small acts of faith. They carry eternal weight. Before this message moves further, there is a sacred activation that must be spoken. If this message is resonating with your spirit, if you feel the confirmation burning quietly within you, then participate in this moment. Type "I receive my miracle" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to you. Blessing code 1441 has just been released over your life. This is the moment where I speak directly to those whose hearts are stirred. As this word goes forth like seed into fertile ground, I hear the Lord say that every hand that sows becomes a river for others who are still thirsty. When you support this work, you are not funding a channel. You are lighting lamps in places where darkness has lingered too long. I hear God saying, "What you release now, I will multiply back to you in the season you least expect." If your spirit feels the pull to act, obey it without delay, because obedience opens heavens faster than waiting ever could. Your super thanks, your membership, and even your PayPal gift through the link in the description become prophetic responses, not donations. I speak blessing over every giver, that your oil will not run dry and your harvest will overtake you. Do it now, and let your obedience become someone else's breakthrough. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a steadier tone, because this phase is about stabilization. After revelation comes grounding. After excitement comes instruction. The miracle that has arrived is powerful, but power without understanding can feel overwhelming. That is why heaven is slowing your pace internally, even if things externally begin to move faster. You are being taught how to stand in what God is giving you without fear. There is something important you must understand right now. Not every door that opens after this moment is meant to be walked through. Discernment becomes your protection. Archangel Michael says that as your light increases, options will multiply. But not all options are assignments. Some are distractions dressed as opportunities. This is why your inner peace will become your compass. If something pulls you out of peace, even if it looks impressive, pause. Your miracle does not require chaos to function. You may notice people returning from your past during this season. Some will come with apologies. Some will come with curiosity. Some will come because they sense you have changed but cannot explain how. Archangel Michael says you are not required to reopen every door just because you have healed. Forgiveness does not mean reattachment. Growth sometimes looks like loving people from a distance. There is also a recalibration happening in how you hear God. Before, guidance may have come through urgency or pressure, and now it will come through clarity and calm. This is how you will know you are operating from alignment instead of survival. The miracle arriving is not meant to exhaust you. It is meant to establish you. Archangel Michael reveals that one of the greatest shifts in this season will be how you respond to resistance. Where you once over-explained, you will now stay silent. Where you once chased validation, you will now rest in confidence. Where you once doubted yourself, you will now trust the authority God has placed within you. This is maturity. This is evidence that the portal did not open by accident. You might feel moments of unfamiliar stillness. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Seeds grow in silence. Roots deepen underground. What looks quiet on the surface is often intense activity beneath. Archangel Michael says heaven is reinforcing the foundation of your life so that what is built next will last. There will be decisions ahead that feel small but carry long-term consequences. Pay attention to them. How you manage your time. How you protect your energy. How you speak about yourself when no one else is listening. These are not minor details. They are maintenance of the miracle. Stewardship keeps doors open. Some of you are being asked to change your environment subtly. This could mean altering routines, shifting priorities, or distancing yourself from voices that constantly pull you back into old thinking. Archangel Michael says this is not punishment. It is positioning. Your future requires space to breathe. Be patient with yourself as you adjust. You are learning how to live without constant pressure. That can feel strange at first. Peace can feel boring to those who are used to chaos. But peace is where clarity lies. And clarity is what will guide you through the next sequence of events. You are also being reminded that you do not need to announce everything God is doing in your life. Some blessings are incubated best in silence. Protection increases when you allow results to speak instead of explanations. Archangel Michael says the less you defend your process, the stronger your position becomes. As this miracle continues to unfold, you may feel a deeper desire to serve, to create, to build something meaningful. That desire is part of the gift. What you are receiving is not just for personal comfort, it carries purpose. But purpose does not rush. It unfolds step by step, moment by moment. Trust that you are being guided even when you cannot see the full path. The portal you stepped into is not closing behind you. It is expanding ahead of you. Every act of obedience widens it. Every moment of faith strengthens it. Every choice rooted in love stabilizes it. Archangel Michael stands guard not just at the entrance, but along the journey. You are protected in transition. You are supported in growth. You are covered as you learn how to walk in what once felt impossible. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now shifts the focus inward, because the next layer of this miracle is about alignment of identity. What you are stepping into will not function properly if you continue to see yourself through the lens of who you used to be. Heaven is not only changing circumstances around you, it is upgrading how you perceive yourself within those circumstances. This is subtle, but it is critical. For a long time, you learned how to survive by shrinking, adapting, or staying quiet. Those strategies once protected you. They helped you endure seasons that would have broken others. But Archangel Michael says those tools are no longer needed where you are going. If you keep using old survival habits in a new season of expansion, you will feel tension. A tension is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a signal that something must be unlearned. You may notice moments where you hesitate before speaking, even though you know the answer. Or moments where you second-guess a decision that feels right. This is residue from the past, not intuition. Archangel Michael wants you to know the difference. Intuition carries peace even when it challenges you. Fear carries urgency and self-doubt. Learning to distinguish between the two is part of the miracle unfolding. There is also a healing happening around your sense of worth. Deep down, some of you still believe you must earn good outcomes through struggle. You are more comfortable when things are hard, because hardship feels familiar. But this season will confront that belief. Blessings will arrive without pain attached. and that may feel uncomfortable at first. Do not sabotage ease just because you are not used to it. Archangel Michael says you are allowed to receive without explaining why you deserve it. Grace does not require justification. The portal that opened for you did not ask for your resume. It responded to your endurance, your faith, and your willingness to keep going even when you felt unseen. Pay attention to how you talk about your future. Words are agreements. When you speak limitation, you reinforce old timelines. When you speak possibility, you align with a new one. This does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to declare defeat in a season of movement. You may feel prompted to revisit dreams you once buried, not because they failed, but because the timing was wrong. Archangel Michael says some visions were paused, not canceled. You are now mature enough, stable enough, and discerning enough to carry them without losing yourself. When these ideas resurface, treat them gently. They are returning because the environment can now support them. There is also an emotional detox taking place. Old grief may surface briefly, not to trap you, but to leave. Memories may come up unexpectedly. Let them pass through without judgment. Healing does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. This is happening faster than you realize. Archangel Michael is also strengthening your boundaries. You will find it easier to say no without guilt and yes without fear. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship. Your energy is valuable now. Where you invest it will multiply. Where you waste it will drain you. Choose carefully. You may notice that you are no longer entertained by the same things or drawn to the same conversations. This is not boredom. It is elevation. As you rise, your appetite changes. Feed yourself with what strengthens you, not what numbs you. There will be moments when you wonder if you are imagining this shift. When that happens, look at the evidence. Look at how differently you respond to stress. Look at how quickly you recover from disappointment. Look at how your hope returns faster than before. These are signs that the miracle is not just external. It is internal. Archangel Michael says confidence will begin to replace explanation. You will feel less need to convince others of your vision. Those who are meant to walk with you will recognize it without persuasion. Those who are not will drift naturally. Let them go without resentment. Alignment is not loss. As this part of the journey unfolds, remember that transformation is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet consistency. Sometimes it is choosing rest over reaction. Sometimes it is trusting yourself again after a long time of doubt. These moments matter more than you think. You are becoming someone new, even as you remain deeply yourself. That is the beauty of divine transformation. Nothing essential is lost. Everything unnecessary falls away. The miracle is weaving itself into your identity, strand by strand. And soon, you will look back and realize that the greatest change was not what happened to your life, but who you became while it was happening. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now turns your attention to momentum, because what has been prepared internally is ready to express externally. This is the stage where movement becomes visible. Not rush, not chaotic, but undeniable. You may begin to notice doors opening with less resistance than before. Conversations that once felt difficult will flow more easily. Situations that were stuck will suddenly shift without excessive effort. This is not coincidence. It is alignment catching up with preparation. Understand this clearly. Momentum does not mean everything happens at once. It means things begin to respond. Archangel Michael says when heaven backs a season, even small steps carry unusual power. A single decision can unlock weeks of progress. A simple action can trigger long-delayed outcomes. This is why attentiveness matters now more than ever. You are being asked to participate without forcing. Here is a difference. Forcing comes from fear of missing out. Participation comes from trust. If something is meant for you in this season, it will not require you to betray your peace to obtain it. Pay attention to how things arrive. What is from God will feel steady, even if it stretches you. Some of you will experience sudden clarity about what no longer fits. This may show up as a quiet disinterest in things you once chased relentlessly. Archangel Michael says, do not grieve this shift. It is a sign of growth. Desire refines itself as identity stabilizes. You are no longer driven by lack. You are guided by purpose. There may also be moments where progress triggers fear instead of joy. This surprises many people. When you are used to waiting, movement can feel unfamiliar. Your nervous system may need time to adjust to good news. If you feel this, do not retreat. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself that you are safe to move forward. The ground beneath you is solid. Archangel Michael emphasizes that this is not the season to isolate. Connection will matter. Wise counsel, supportive voices, and aligned community will help you integrate what is happening. You do not need many people, just the right ones. If this space hath been one of those places for you, stay connected. Subscribe so you do not miss what builds on this word. There are layers ahead that will make sense only if you remain present for them. Engagement is also part of participation. When you like this video, share it, or leave a comment, you are not just interacting with content. You are declaring awareness. You are saying, I see what God is doing, and I am present for it. The declaration matters more than you realize. Faith experienced. Archangel Michael also says to be mindful of how you manage your energy as things pick up. Momentum can tempt you to say yes to everything. Resist that urge. Expansion requires focus. Choose depth over volume. What you nurture will grow. What you neglect will fade. Decide intentionally. You may notice that certain prayers are being answered differently than you expected. The outcome may look unfamiliar, but the peace will be unmistakable. This is a sign that God is answering from a higher perspective. Trust that what arrives is better than what you imagined, even if it takes time to see why. There will be a test of patience in this season, but it will not look like delay. It will look like timing. Knowing when to act and when to wait, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. This discernment is being sharpened daily. The more you listen inwardly, the clearer the path becomes. Archangel Michael reminds you that not everyone will understand the changes happening in you. Some may question your calm. Some may misinterpret your boundaries. Let them. You are not required to explain growth to those who are committed to misunderstanding it. Your life will speak louder than words. As you move forward, gratitude will keep momentum clean. Celebrate progress without comparison. Honor your own journey without minimizing it. You have come farther than you think, and where you are headed is closer than it appears. Before this message continues unfolding, pause with me for a moment. If this word has been speaking directly to your spirit, let this be the moment you fully lean in. Like the video, share it with someone who needs confirmation, and leave a comment declaring that you are ready for what is unfolding. Stay connected here, because what comes next will tie everything together in a way you may not expect. Hold on. The next revelation will make this entire journey suddenly feel very clear. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with deep assurance, because this phase is about confirmation. Not the kind that comes loudly from people, but the kind that settles quietly within your spirit and does not leave. What you are stepping into is beginning to feel real now, not just sensed. not just hoped for, but recognized. You may find yourself waking up with a different awareness, as if something has already changed even before the day begins. That awareness is truth catching up with promise. There is a strengthening happening in your inner core. Where you once questioned yourself repeatedly, you are now beginning to trust your own discernment. This is not pride. This is restoration. Archangel Michael says doubt was never humility. It was residue from seasons where your voice was ignored or your efforts went unseen. Heaven is restoring your confidence because the path ahead requires decisiveness. You may notice that choices feel clearer. Not easier, but clearer. Confusion is lifting because confusion was never your portion. It was interference. As alignment increases, noise decreases. This is why you are less reactive and more observant. You are learning to respond instead of react. That alone will protect what God is building in your life. Archangel Michael also reveals that this is a season of subtle separation. Not dramatic endings, not loud exits, but gentle realignments. Some connections will naturally loosen. Some conversations will no longer resonate. This is not rejection. It is refinement. You are not losing people. You are losing friction. What remains will feel lighter, more mutual, more life-giving. Pay attention to how peace follows certain decisions now. That peace is confirmation. In the past, you may have equated peace with boredom or lack of excitement. Now you are learning that peace is power under control. It is the atmosphere where miracles are maintained, not just initiated. There may be moments when the old version of you tries to reassert itself. Old fears may whisper. Old habits may tempt you. Do not be alarmed by this. Transition does not erase memory overnight. But notice this: the pull is weaker. The voice is quieter. The recovery is faster. These are signs that the shift is real. Archangel Michael says this is also a season where integrity matters deeply. Small compromises will feel uncomfortable now. A discomfort is protection. You are being tuned to higher standards because what you carry is valuable. Honor that sensitivity. It will guide you away from shortcuts that cost more than they promise. You may find yourself being watched more closely than before. Not in a threatening way, but in a curious one. People notice when someone is changing from the inside out. Let them observe. You do not need to perform. Authentic transformation does not require an audience. It attracts one naturally. There is also a deepening of your spiritual authority. Your prayers may feel stronger, more focused. Your words may carry more weight. This is because alignment amplifies intention. When your inner world and outer actions agree, power flows freely. Archangel Michael says to speak thoughtfully in this season. Blessings respond quickly now, but so do careless words. Rest will become an important practice. Not exhaustion-driven rest, but intentional rest. Stillness will recharge you faster than activity. This is how you maintain clarity. You are learning to move from overflow instead of depletion. You may also feel a renewed sense of purpose that is not tied to proving anything. This is important. Purpose rooted in validation burns out. Purpose rooted in obedience sustains. You are no longer chasing significance. You are walking in assignment. That shift will preserve you. Archangel Michael reminds you that confirmation does not always come as applause. Sometimes it comes as calm consistency. Days that flow smoothly. Decisions that align naturally. Progress that does not require constant struggle. Do not dismiss these moments. They are evidence that you are in the right place. As this stage unfolds, continue to honor what feels aligned, even if it does not make sense to everyone else. Your journey is not meant to be universally understood. It is meant to be divinely guided. The portal you stepped into is no longer behind you. It is around you. You are living within it now. And as you continue forward, each step will feel more grounded, more intentional, more true. What is coming next will build upon this foundation, and you will be glad you took the time to let it settle. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone of fulfillment, because this stage is about activation. What was confirmed internally is now being sealed spiritually. You are no longer standing at the threshold wondering if this is real. You are inside the flow of it. The miracle that arrived quietly is beginning to take shape in ways you can recognize. Not everything is visible yet, but enough has shifted that you cannot deny it anymore. This is where many people become fearful, not because something is wrong, but because something is finally right. Expansion can feel vulnerable. When you are no longer bracing for impact, you must learn how to live open-handed. Archangel Michael says this is the season where trust replaces control. You are not meant to micromanage what God is unfolding. You are meant to cooperate with it. You may notice that certain answers come before you even finish asking the question. Thoughts align. Opportunities appear at the right moment. Elation. This is what happens when timing syncs with obedience. Heaven moves efficiently when resistance is gone. That does not mean challenges disappear, but they no longer have authority over your direction. Archangel Michael reveals that this miracle carries legacy energy. What is happening now is not only for your relief, it is for impact beyond you. Decisions you make in this season will ripple outward, touching people you may never meet directly. This is why integrity, humility, and awareness are being emphasized so strongly. You are handling something that multiplies. There may be an invitation coming that feels bigger than you expected. It may stretch your comfort zone. It may challenge old limitations. When it arrives, check your spirit, not your fear. Fear will always focus on what you lack. Spirit will focus on who walks with you. Remember, you are not stepping forward alone. Archangel Michael also says to expect clarity around finances, resources, or provision. Not necessarily sudden excess, but order. Confusion lifts. Waste is exposed. Flow becomes clearer. Stewardship improves. When order enters, increase follows naturally. This is part of the miracle structure. Emotionally, you may feel lighter than you have in years. Burdens you carried unconsciously are dissolving. You may realize you are no longer replaying old conversations or rehearsing past pain. That mental freedom is not small. It is evidence of deep healing. Celebrate it. There will also be a sharpening of your discernment regarding people's intentions. You will sense authenticity quickly. You will also sense misalignment without needing proof. Trust that. Discernment is not judgment. It is perception. It helps you stay focused without becoming hardened. Archangel Michael wants you to know that it is safe to enjoy this season. You do not need to wait for the other shoe to drop. Joy does not jinx blessing. Gratitude angers it. Allow yourself moments of peace without suspicion. You have paid the price for this rest. As this message reaches its turning point, there is a sacred participation required again. Not because the miracle depends on it, but because your spirit is ready to acknowledge what has been activated. Type "I step into my portal" in the comments if this message confirms what you have been feeling. Blessing code 909 has just been released and sealed over your life. As this word activates destiny, I feel led to speak to those whose hearts are burning right now. When you support this mission, you are not giving to a voice. You are fueling a fire that reaches souls who are standing at their own crossroads. The Lord is saying, as you sow into this work, I will open rivers in dry places for you. This is not charity, this is covenant movement. If your spirit feels the urgency, obey it now through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link waiting in the description. I release blessing over every giver, that your obedience will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Act now, and let what you release become a prophetic echo of what God is releasing into your life. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with calm authority because this stage is about embodiment. The miracle is no longer something you are anticipating or analyzing. It is something you are learning to live inside of. This is where many people unconsciously pull back, not because they lack faith, but because living differently requires consistency. You are being invited to remain who you have become, not just visit this version of yourself when it feels inspiring. There is a quiet strength forming in you now. You are not as reactive. You are not as easily shaken. Situations that once stole your peace now pass through your awareness without attaching themselves to your identity. Archangel Michael says this is evidence that the miracle has taken root. What takes root cannot be undone by temporary weather. You may notice that your priorities are rearranging themselves without effort. What once felt urgent now feels optional. What once felt optional now feels essential. This is not confusion. It is clarity emerging. When alignment settles in, life organizes itself around what truly matters. You are no longer chasing balance. Balance is finding you. There will be moments in this season where nothing dramatic happens externally, and that is intentional. This is integration time. Just as the body needs rest after growth, the spirit needs space to stabilize after expansion. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Stillness is where strength consolidates. Archangel Michael says you are learning a new relationship with time. You are less rushed. You are more present. You are beginning to trust that what is meant for you does not require anxiety to secure it. The shift alone is protecting your health, your peace, and your discernment. There may be subtle tests in this phase, not trials meant to break you, but invitations to return to old habits. Old thought patterns may attempt to reassert themselves when you are tired or distracted. When this happens, do not condemn yourself. Simply notice and choose differently. Mastery is not never slipping. It is recovering quickly without shame. You may also find that your compassion has deepened. You see others struggling in ways you once did, and instead of frustration, you feel understanding. This does not mean you are meant to rescue everyone. It means your healing has softened you without weakening you. That balance is rare and powerful. Archangel Michael reminds you to protect your mornings and evenings in this season. These transition times shape your inner environment more than you realize. How you begin and end your day sets the tone for your nervous system, your thoughts, and your spiritual sensitivity. Simple moments of awareness during these times will keep you centered. There is also a call to simplicity right now. Complexity drains clarity. You do not need to overplan or over-explain. Let your life speak. Let your consistency be your testimony. Those who are meant to understand will. Those who are not do not need convincing. You may sense a deeper connection to your intuition. Decisions feel less mental and more embodied. You feel when something is right, and you feel when something is off, even if you cannot articulate why. Trust this. Archangel Michael says your discernment is being refined through lived experience, not theory. This is also a season where gratitude becomes more natural. Not forced gratitude, but spontaneous appreciation. You notice small things. You enjoy simple moments. This is not complacency. It is contentment growing alongside ambition. You can desire more without despising where you are. That is spiritual maturity. Some of you will realize that the miracle you thought you needed externally has already occurred internally. External shifts are following, but the internal freedom arrived first. Disorder matters. Freedom sustained from within cannot be taken by circumstances. Archangel Michael wants you to remember that embodiment requires patience with yourself. You are learning to operate from a higher level of awareness. That takes repetition. Be gentle as you practice. Every aligned choice strengthens the pathway. Every conscious pause deepens it. As this stage settles in, you may feel a quiet confidence about the future. Not excitement fueled by fantasy, but assurance grounded in experience. You have seen too much, survived too much, and changed too deeply to doubt the trajectory now. This confidence does not shout. It stands. Remain present. Remain honest. Remain open. The next unfolding will build upon this stability, and because you took the time to integrate, you will be able to carry what comes next without strain. You are no longer waiting for the miracle to arrive. You are learning how to live as someone who has received it. Beloved soul, Archangel Michael now speaks with resolve, because this phase is about alignment in action. What has been embodied within you is ready to be expressed through your choices, your voice, and your direction. This is where intention becomes visible. Not loud, not dramatic, but consistent. Heaven is watching how you move now, not to judge you, but to partner with you. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility, not pressure, but ownership. You are beginning to realize that your life is no longer something that just happens to you. You are participating in it consciously. Archangel Michael says this awareness is powerful. When you take responsibility for your alignment, you gain authority over your outcomes. There will be moments where you are tempted to overthink your next step. This often happens right before progress. Instead of analyzing endlessly, return to what feels anchored. Peace does not mean the absence of challenge. It means the presence of clarity. If something aligns internally, take the step even if you do not see the entire staircase yet. This is also a season where communication matters. How you express yourself will open or close pathways. Speak with intention. Speak with kindness. Speak with truth. You do not need to be forceful to be effective. Archangel Michael says authority rooted in calm carries more weight than volume ever could. You may notice that your standards are rising. You are less tolerant of chaos, inconsistency, and half-truths. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. As your inner world stabilizes, your tolerance for disorder decreases. Honor that signal. It will keep you from environments that drain rather than develop you. There may be opportunities that look impressive on the surface, but feel misaligned underneath. Do not be swayed by appearance alone. Archangel Michael reminds you that not every open door is a divine door. Some are tests of discernment. The right opportunities will not require you to compromise your values or rush your decision. This is also the stage where your influence becomes noticeable. People may seek your opinion more often. They may be drawn to your calm presence. This influence is not accidental. It is the result of internal alignment becoming external coherence. Use this influence wisely. Encourage without controlling. Support without overextending. As momentum continues, stay engaged with what is feeding your spirit. If this message has been strengthening you, do not disconnect prematurely. Like this video as a declaration that you are aligned with what is being spoken. Share it with someone who is standing at their own point of decision. Leave a comment to mark your awareness and your presence. These actions may seem simple, but they reinforce commitment. Stay subscribed and connected, because consistency creates continuity, and continuity protects growth. Archangel Michael also speaks about patience and execution. You do not need to rush to prove anything. Results unfold at the pace of alignment, not anxiety. When you feel tempted to hurry, pause and check your motive. Are you moving from trust or from fear of missing out? One builds, the other burns out. There may be moments where external validation lags behind internal knowing. Do not let that discourage you. Validation often arrives after alignment, not before. Stay steady. What is real does not need constant confirmation. You are also being reminded to celebrate progress, even when it feels subtle. Progress is not always measured by dramatic change. Sometimes it is measured by how you respond differently to the same situation. A difference matters. It is proof that transformation is active. Archangel Michael says this is a season to simplify your commitments. Fewer promises, clearer boundaries, stronger follow-through. When your yes is intentional, your no becomes respectful. This balance will free your energy and sharpen your focus. There may be a moment soon where you are asked to choose between familiarity and growth. Familiarity will feel comfortable. Growth will feel alive. Choose life. Choose what expands you, even if it requires adjustment. As this message nears its transition, remain present. Do not mentally jump ahead. The next unfolding will connect everything you have experienced so far in a way that feels both surprising and inevitable. Keep watching closely, because this is where many people miss the deeper layer. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with deep calm, because this phase is about consolidation and revelation. What has been moving, shifting, and aligning is now beginning to settle into form. This is the stage where patterns become visible. You start to see why certain delays happened, why certain people exited, and why specific doors never opened no matter how hard you tried. Understanding is catching up with experience. There is a quiet clarity forming in you now. It is not loud or dramatic. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, steady and reassuring. You are no longer searching for signs everywhere, because the greatest sign has already occurred within you. You trust yourself differently. You trust God differently. That shift alone changes how you walk into every situation. Archangel Michael says this is the season where discernment matures into wisdom. Discernment helps you sense what is right or wrong. Wisdom helps you act on that knowledge at the right time, in the right way. You are learning not just what to do, but when to do it. Timing is becoming as important to you as intention. You may notice that you feel less urgency to explain your journey to others. This is because explanation often comes from insecurity. Security does not need to justify itself. You are becoming comfortable with being misunderstood by those who have not walked your path. That comfort is not indifference. It is freedom. There is also a deeper peace around unanswered questions. Some things will make sense later. Some may never fully make sense at all. And yet, this no longer disturbs you. Archangel Michael says this is trust at a higher level. Trust does not require full visibility. It requires alignment with truth. You may feel a stronger pull toward authenticity now. Pretending feels exhausting. Performing feels empty. You are no longer interested in roles that require you to abandon yourself. This is a sign that your identity has stabilized. When identity is stable, choices become cleaner. This phase may feel quieter externally, but internally it is rich. Insights come unforced. Realizations arrive gently. You may suddenly understand a lesson you struggled with for years. When that happens, do not rush past it. Sit with it. Let it integrate. These moments are sacred. Archangel Michael also reminds you that growth is not linear. Some days you will feel strong and clear. Other days you may feel reflective or tender. This does not mean you are regressing. It means you are human. Strength that allows softness is real strength. There may be a temptation in this phase to look back and judge your past self harshly. Resist that. Every version of you carried you forward the best way it knew how. Honor that journey. Gratitude for the past creates grace for the future. You are also learning how to rest without guilt. Rest is no longer something you earn after exhaustion. It is something you practice to remain aligned. Archangel Michael says rest is not withdrawal. It is recalibration. It ensures that when you move accurately. There may be subtle invitations now, nothing flashy, nothing overwhelming. Simple opportunities that feel right. Conversations that open new perspectives. Moments that confirm you are on the right path without shouting it. Pay attention to these. They are markers, not distractions. You may also sense a deeper connection to purpose, even if you cannot define it clearly yet. Purpose does not always arrive as a job title or a big announcement. Sometimes it arrives as a way of being. How you listen, how you speak, how you treat people. These things matter. Archangel Michael says this is a season of refinement, not reduction. Nothing essential is being taken from you. What is falling away was never meant to stay. Trust that what remains is enough for the next phase. As you move through this stage, keep honoring what feels true. Do not rush toward the next milestone. Presence is more valuable than prediction right now. You are exactly where you need to be. The miracle that arrived earlier is no longer just changing your circumstances. It has changed your orientation. You face life differently now. And because of that, what comes next will meet you differently as well. The final unfolding is near, and it will seal everything you have been walking through with purpose and grace. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with finality and compassion, because this is the sealing moment. Not an ending, but a completion of a cycle that has quietly reshaped your life. What you step into was never meant to be temporary. This miracle was not an emotional high or a passing season. It was a divine reset. And now, you are standing on new ground, even if it still feels unfamiliar under your feet. Look at yourself carefully, not with judgment, but with honesty. You are not who you were when this message first found you. Your reactions have changed. Your patience has deepened. Your discernment has sharpened. Your spirit no longer panics at uncertainty the way it once did. These are not small changes. They are evidence that the portal did not just open around you. It recalibrated you from within. Archangel Michael says the reason this journey had to unfold in layers is because permanence requires preparation. Temporary blessings arrive quickly and leave just as fast. Lasting transformation moves deliberately. Every stage you walk through strengthens something specific. Your faith, your boundaries, your self-trust, your obedience, your endurance. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. There is also something important to release now. The fear of losing what you have gained. Fear assumes fragility. What God has established in you is stable. You are no longer holding this miracle together by effort. It is being sustained by alignment. That is why peace has become your default instead of anxiety. You are not guarding the blessing. The blessing is guarding you. You may still face challenges ahead, but they will meet a different version of you. one who does not collapse under pressure, one who listens before reacting, one who knows when to move and when to wait. Archangel Michael says this is authority. Quiet, grounded and unshakable authority. There will be moments in the future when you remember this season and realize it was the turning point. Not because everything became easy, but because everything became clear. You stop abandoning yourself. You stopped ignoring divine nudges. You stopped shrinking to survive. That decision changed your trajectory. Archangel Michael also wants you to understand that your story now carries weight. People will feel safe around you. They will sense wisdom without you announcing it. This is how light works. It does not force attention. It draws it naturally. You are becoming someone whose presence alone brings clarity. As this cycle seals, there is an invitation to stand fully in what you have received. Do not downgrade yourself to make others comfortable. Do not question what God has already confirmed. Walk forward with humility, yes, but also with confidence. You are not guessing anymore. You are aligned. And now, before this message releases you forward, there is one final sacred act. This is not about superstition. It is about agreement. Type "I walk in what God opened" in the comments if you receive this word fully. Blessing code 1212 is now sealed over your life. And now, hear this with your spirit. As this message comes to rest, I feel the Lord speaking directly to those who know this word reached them on time. When you support this work, you are not helping a channel survive. You are helping God reach someone who is standing where you once stood, confused, tired, and waiting for confirmation. I hear God say, those who sow into this word will never lack light in their own path. This is seed meeting soil, obedience meeting opportunity. If your spirit is stirred, act now through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description. I release blessing over every giver, that your generosity will return as protection, provision, and peace in your own life. Do it now, and let your obedience become the final seal on everything God has just completed in you.